ازيكم? Welcome to Folktales from Sudan. I'm your storyteller, Hana Baba. Today's story is Mariam and the Naughty Chicken. As always, this story is told in English with some Arabi mixed in. Okay, yallakum, let's go. قالوا كان في Once upon a time, there was a girl named Mariam. Mariam had a pet chicken that she loved. Every day after she got back from school and did her house chores, Mariam would go out to the hush, the yard, to play with her chicken. One day, Mariam was chasing the chicken around the hush, behind the lemon tree, above the jahannamiya bushes, when the chicken flew up to the fence that stood between Mariam's house and the neighbors. Come down here, تعال هنا. You naughty chicken, come down here now. انزل يلا. Don't you fly over to the neighbor's yard. يلا تعال. The chicken did not listen. He flew from the top of the fence over into the neighbor's yard. This is what Mariam was dreading. They didn't know a lot about the neighbors. They were quiet and they were mysterious. And Mariam's family never saw anyone go into that house or leave it. And there were stories about a ghul, an ogre who maybe lived in the house. Nobody in the village went over to that house. But Mariam had to go over there to get her chicken back. So she left her house and walked over to the neighbor's door and knocked on it. Nobody answered the door, but Mariam noticed that it was a little open. So she clapped and she yelled out, Salam, salam, salam ya nas al-bayt. Ho ya nas al-bayt, salam. Anybody home? Anybody home? There was no answer. Nobody was home. Mariam slowly pushed the door open. She went in to look for her chicken. She could not believe what she saw. Everything was so big, giant. The chairs and tables were 50 feet tall. The rooms were higher than she could see, and everything in the house was like it was made for someone giant. Mariam said to herself, it's true. This house belongs to a ghul, a giant ogre. But she couldn't leave without her chicken. She looked around and she noticed something. The house was a mess. It was dusty and dirty. The hush, the sitting room, a saloon, the kitchen had piles of dirty dishes. There were dirty clothes everywhere. Mariam looked around and around for her chicken and could not find it. She said, since I'm here, until I find my chicken, I might as well clean up this house. She tied her tarha tight around her head and she started dusting with an old rag that she found. Then she found a mukshasha, a broom, and she started sweeping and sweeping. Then she jumped up to the kitchen sink and washed the huge dishes and dried them with a dish towel. And she washed the oversized clothes in a gigantic tub. Mariam looked around and she saw the zir was empty, the giant clay drinking water pot. She looked and she saw a water hose and she turned it on, and jumped on the giant zir and filled it with water so it can be cool later for drinking. And when everything was clean, sure enough, there it was, her chicken showed up. "There you are," said Mariam, "you naughty, naughty chicken. Yalla, yalla al-bayt. Let's go home." Mariam was about to leave when she heard a sound. Boom, boom, boom. She thought, "Whoa, what's that? What is that? It sounds like footsteps." Giant footsteps. It was the ghoul, the ogre, and it was a woman ogre, Ghulawiya. She came home. Mariam ran and hid behind the giant zir. As soon as the Ghulawiya opened the door, she sniffed and sniffed.
I can smell that a human is in my house. If I catch them, I will eat them all up.
But then the Ghulawiya looked around and around, and she noticed how everything was neat, clean, and tidy. Even the zir was filled with fresh water. She said with her booming voice,
"Whoever cleaned my house is safe. I'll treat them like my own child. كان ولد ولدي وكان بيت بيتي عليه ومان الله والرسول. I will not harm them."
Still, Mariam stayed hiding until the Ghulawiya went inside the house. Boom, boom, boom. She did not believe an ogre would really leave her alone, so she ran back home. A week went by. Mariam was playing in the hush with her chicken when again that naughty, naughty chicken flew up to the fence and over to the Ghulawiya's house again. Ugh, naughty bad chicken. Again, Mariam went over to the Ghulawiya's house. Nobody was there, and it was a mess. Mariam couldn't find her chicken anywhere, so she did what she did last time. She got to cleaning. She dusted and she swept and she mopped the giant floors. She jumped up to the kitchen sink and washed the huge dishes and dried them. And she washed the oversized clothes, dresses, and skirts and tarha in the gigantic tub. And she put them out to hang on a long clothesline in the hot sun. And she filled up the zir with water. When everything was clean, there he was. Her chicken, he showed up. "There you are," said Mariam. "You naughty, naughty chicken. Yalla, yalla al-bayt. Let's go." But before she could leave, Mariam heard the giant footsteps again. Boom, boom, boom. Oh no, it was the Ghulawiya. She came home. Mariam ran and hid behind the giant zir full of water. As soon as the Ghulawiya opened the door, she sniffed and sniffed and said,
I can smell that a human is in my house. If I catch them, I'm gonna eat them all up."
But then she looked around and noticed how everything was neat and clean and tidy again. and even the zir was filled with fresh water. She said with her booming voice,
I said whoever cleaned my house is safe. I'll treat them like my own child. كان ولد ولدي وكان بيت بيتي عليه ومان الله والرسول. I will not harm them.
And she waited to see if anybody would come out. But Mariam stayed hiding until the Ghulawiya went inside the house. Then she took her chicken and ran back home. On one day the next week, it was a beautiful day. Mariam was playing in the hosh with her chicken when again that naughty chicken ran around, and she was chasing it. It ran around the lemon tree and over the jahannamiya bush and through the henna bush, and it flew up to the fence and over to the Ghulawiya's house again. This tiresome chicken. Mariam did like she did before. She went to the Ghulawiya's house for the third time. She opened the door and went inside. But this time, something felt strange and different. She froze. And suddenly, the door slammed shut behind her.
I smell a human. Come out now. Come out. I know you're here.
Mariam turned around. Her heart was thumping. There, standing in the doorway, was the Ghulawiya. She was huge. Mariam looked at her. She looked up and up and up, and she saw the Ghulawiya's giant yellow eyes. They were glowing, and her red, scaly skin was shimmering in the light.
Inti mnu. Who are you?
The Ghulawiya boomed, her voice loud enough to rattle the windows. Mariam was scared. يا عمتي الغلاوية Auntie Ghulawiya, I'm sorry. I only came to get my chicken and then I cleaned your house because it was messy and I thought I just wanted to help out. It was the right thing to do. Please don't eat me. Please don't eat me. The Ghulawiya stopped. She tilted her enormous head and her glowing eyes narrowed.
So you're the one who cleaned my house?
Yes. Mariam was so scared her knees were shaking. Please don't eat me. عليك الله ما تاكليني. Please. Al-Ghulawiya stared at Mariam for a long time. Then, to Mariam's surprise, she threw her head back and let out a booming laugh.
You are brave, little one. Ya salam alayk.
The Ghulawiya's voice was softer now.
You are very brave. I knew the human who cleaned my house was someone special. You remind me of someone I thought I'd never see again.
Mariam was surprised. What do you mean? She asked. Al-Ghulawiya knelt down. Her giant face now just inches from Mariam's face. Her glowing eyes dimmed. She reached under her tob for her mufhada, her wallet. She opened it and pulled out something small and shiny. A gold bracelet. The Ghulawiya said,
This belonged to Habobtik, your grandmother.
Mariam's eyes widened. That's impossible. حبوبتي أنا? My grandmother? But my حبوبة passed away years ago. الغلاوية nodded slowly.
She did. But before she left this world, she saved my life. Humans were hunting me because they were afraid of what they didn't understand. I was hurt and alone. Your grandmother, your Haboba, found me. She cared for me and she taught me the meaning of kindness. She became my friend, and I vowed to protect her and her family. But when she passed, I hid away. And I scared people away because I thought no one else would ever be as kind as she was. You cleaned my house because you have a good heart.
Mariam's eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "Shukran, shukran ya ammati al-ghulawiya. Shukran. Thank you. Ya salam. Thank you so much." Just then, Mariam's chicken came out from behind a bush. She took her chicken and they went home. And from that day on, Al-Ghulawiya treated Mariam like a daughter, just like she had promised to the person who cleaned her house, because Mariam showed her kindness, and they became the best of friends. And after that, because of Mariam's friendship, Al-Ghulawiya stopped scaring the villagers and became friends with everyone in the village. They all lived happily ever after, all together, with no fear. والقصة انتهت. The end. Thanks for listening to Folktales from Sudan. All the stories in the series were adapted from stories I heard from members of my family, handed down from generation to generation. And this project is dedicated to our official family storyteller, my dear uncle Elbagir Gaafar. Thanks to our production team, our main story consultant and editor, my mother, Nawal Jaafar. Our music is by Rami Elbagir, Muhammad Jamal, Ahmed Al-Ijil, Hassan Rabi', and Khalid Al-Mahi. Our episode art is by Waddah Eltahir. Graphic design team is Eman, Hajali, Rudaina, Osman, and Layla Bilal. This story was sound designed by Seth Samuel. Find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and we'd love to get your ratings and reviews. And engage with us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Folktales from Sudan. I'm your storyteller, Hana Baba. Yalla, see you in the next story. Masalama.